Et tu as joué l'un de tes meilleurs matchs en carrière. Merci. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My grandma's here. I'm very excited about. Hi, Grandma. This is so great. Hi. All right, I'm just gonna grab one more bottle, but I think everyone has the recipes. So go ahead and grab your ingredients if you're gonna make the drinks. If not, then hang on out. You're gonna see some cocktail goodness starting. And yeah, so just settle in and we will get started. Oh, hi. Oh my gosh. From Betham. Yes. Good to see you all.
You're not very loud.
I'm very loud?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not loud.
Well, I know how to fix that because I do Zoom stuff.
I don't either.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, you sound loud to me.
Yeah, Pam, you sound perfect to me.
And to me.
Hey, Karen, you may want to up the volume on your computer or iPad. Maybe that'll help because my
Let me see if I know how to. I don't know how to do
Because
that.
you sound fine to everybody else.
Yeah, you sound fine to us.
Okay. You know, it's good to test. Good to test. All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna grab one more bottle.
Yeah, but you got home quick.
Gina, come. Oh, I should mute.
Bring on the booze.
More booze. A little bit more. It's a little bit more.
Oh.
I think I've had enough booze, but I'm gonna watch.
This is the introduce my dog to everyone. So.
Oh.
So yeah.
That's better.
Right? I know, but you're not teaching the class. I am. You can go sleep now. Go ahead. Go, go, go.
I had my microphone way down, so now it's fine.
Okay, that's good. Good. All right, we still got more people coming in. This is fun. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. We can still say Shavua Tov, right? It's Sunday morning, so.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Yeah.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
We can still say Shana Tova.
Yep.
You know, four holidays in a row.
Always.
I like saying Shana Tova in the middle of 2020. It gives me a little relief. It's like a new starting point. So I'm kind of like starting everything from, you know, Rosh Hashanah. It felt like a really nice renewal moment. So I will take that. All right.
And will you be putting these recipes up and screen sharing, or should we be taking notes, except it's the holidays, so of course we wouldn't do that.
Right, of course. Okay, were the recipes sent to you ahead of time, or yes?
Were they? Oh, they were? Okay, I see the rabbi nodding, so I'll go back and look for them.
But we're gonna go through everything really slowly, which is nice, including how to make some of the ingredients. So it will, you know, we'll all be mixology experts by the end of this, which will be really nice. This is so great. It's so nice to see so many friendly faces. I like really, really love this. This is the best kiddush ever, okay? It's the best kiddush ever. Okay. Rabbi, I think we should get
Put the
started.
link for the recipes in the chat if you can see it, or you can go to our website.
At BeneAssurin.com.
BeneJeshurun.org, and just look up Simchat Torah, and the recipes are right there. I'm only going to introduce Pam because Pam, it's your baby. We are so excited. Pam, we love you. And when Pam and I talked to prepare for this, I was remembering my days when I started here young, and Pam was the leader of our USY, and so active and engaged. And you've remained engaged. Of course, your parents are very integral members of our synagogue, pillars of our synagogue. And we love you. We're so proud of all that you do. I'm international mixologist, and to be able to celebrate the holiday with you, I'm going to turn it over to you, Pam. Thank you for leading us and teaching.
Oh, thank you. It's a lot of people ask me, the question is always, what are you doing this weekend? And especially during pandemic times, plans have always been, pretty subdued. And I was like, oh, I'm making cocktails for my synagogue back in Cleveland. And I can't tell you the number of people who were like, that's the coolest thing ever. So this is officially on the cool factor of things that you could do for the weekend. But this is a huge honor. I was really, in a wonderful way, taken back when Rabbi Hal reached out to me and asked if I would make drinks and teach everyone how to make some cocktails. It's nice to come full circle. I was incredibly active, but first with Beth when I was a kid, and then B'nai Ashurin, obviously. And then, I left when I was 18 and went to New York, and I haven't really moved back or been back since, but going back to B'nai Ashurin when I have been home has been a really important part of my returns back to Cleveland. And I still call B'nai Ashurin like my shul. Like I still call it my shul. So I did Rosh Hashanah with all of you. To me, it still is my mainstay, my shul, my community. And so it's nice to be connected with everybody right now. Shana Tova, Chag Sameach. It's Simchas Torah. We love Simchas Torah, right? Because it's the holiday. Okay, it's very when a lot of people ask me about Jewish holidays, and they say like, why do you celebrate? How do you celebrate? I was like, it's kind of easy. I was like, is it a holiday in which we eat? Yes or no? And then from there's another flow chart of like, are we celebrating the fact that the Jews are still in existence? Yes or no? And then like, is there booze? And and then is it about trees? But besides that, that's like the flow chart of Jewish holidays. And and I guess in my industry, what's become very apparent, and something that I work and I talk a lot about in my work, is that you do not see a lot of Jewish individuals at the forefront of the hospitality industry, especially in the liquor and beverage industry. It's just an industry where a lot of us are not there. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that in hospitality, every day is kind of the same. And for someone who grows up with religion, especially Judaism, as a part of the foundation of who they are, and like taking off for Shabbos and holidays, it gets very difficult to combine those two. So I've been extremely outspoken about my Judaism for always, since I've been in the industry. And as I've kind of risen through the ranks, I've been like called out as like she's like, Pam, oh, the Jewish bartender. So anything like Jewish that happens, like it comes back to me and a few other people, but I'm extremely proud to be one of those really loud voices in the industry, because I think it's important that we ensure that there is always equitable space for every kind of person, no matter what field or area that you're in. And I won't be quiet, and I won't stand up against people who, plan big events on Yom Kippur. I need them to understand why that holiday is sacred for us. I won't stand by when any anti-Semitic remark is made anywhere in my industry. Like, we need to ensure that people know that we're here, that we are allies and advocates for other people, and we expect people to also fight for us. So it feels really nice to also be in a community right now to give back to those who've always empowered me, because I think it's through your teaching and through your strength. Especially a lot of faces I see here, people who were always with me in shul, giving me extra cookies during Kiddush when I was little, like, saying hi to me just being here, it feels very comfortable, and you know, I'm getting a little verklempt. So, and also a huge shout out to my grandma. My grandma is here. I'm so happy to have her. So Grandma Edie, hello, all the way from Youngstown. Thank you so much for being here. And my parents, oh, there's a spotlight on her. I love it. So it means a lot to have you here, and my parents are here, but their cameras are off. So yeah, so the holidays, and I think the holidays are a great time for us to be celebrating, to be drinking, and to be with those that we love. And what's really great is, I think, especially as Jewish culture revolves so much around food, and I've done a lot of work in the food and beverage industry, connecting with other big chefs, talking about this. I love teaching other people about the flavors and the customs and why we eat certain things and what it represents. And I think it's nice because we have so much tradition and history that is intertwined with flavors, that it's really fun to share that. And it's really fun to craft dishes around that as well. And so what I'm excited is, I'm not your typical kid who like went off to college and maybe like became a lawyer or a doctor or teacher. I was like, hey, I'm going to work in bars and restaurants. My parents were like, what? But it all worked out, I think, for the better. I've been working in the hospitality industry sort of unofficially since 2006, full-time since 2009. And I've kind of risen the ranks, opening up some of the award-winning best bars in the world, running huge programs for like American Airlines and Pepsi, and Big Apple Circus, all revolving around cocktails. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be showing you just 2 drinks, but I'm going to show you like little variations on the drinks as well. So we can say like, oh, these are structures of drinks that we can make and apply maybe any time of the year, but also kind of like why they're fun for this holiday. Because, you know, like last night was like the big night with the Torahs, and, you know, if we were all together in shul, we would have been paraded around 7 times. And who knows how long a hakafot really lasts each time. It's kind of like 45 minutes between each one if you're doing it right. But you are supposed to have like a little bit of booze because you're supposed to be celebrating the fact that we are rolling this scroll back from Deuteronomy to Genesis, right? From like Devarim to like Breshit. And, you know, when I explain this holiday to people, they go, let me get this straight. You're rolling back a scroll and you celebrate? This is amazing. I was like, I know. Jewish holidays are so much fun. You know, the ones where you atone for your sins, those are a little more difficult, but this one's fun, okay? And I think with that comes the idea of like community being together, and we all sometimes have some drinks. So what I'm going to teach you today are 2 cocktails. One's a highball, one's is maybe one that you've made before, but I'm going to give a little twist on it. And another one's kind of like a really nice fall cocktail, and also guide you through how you can make this drink warm, because it doesn't have to be a cold drink. This actually can be transferred into a big pot if you multiply the amount, and you can make this as like a warm, hot cocktail that you can offer people later on, or maybe as we're heading into, you know, Hanukkah. It's not so far away, okay? I know. We're here at this holiday, but Hanukkah is not far away. As a kid, you always think about that, okay? I love this. Oh, Hal, I see everyone's kind of drinking at your screen. This is great. And for anybody who may have someone who's under 21 or somebody who's not going to be drinking, I will offer you alternatives because you do not have to drink to be enjoying this session. And if that is the case, what I will say is if you have any like Earl Grey tea, English breakfast tea, Irish breakfast tea, Lipton's tea, if you want to brew up some of that right now so we can get some more room temperature, you can use that in place of the whiskey and also the rum that we're going to be using. Sound good? I love it. Okay, before we get started, because this one's going to take a little bit of a time for an infusion, about 15, 20 minutes, we are going to infuse some rum. So something I really love doing with spirits. Yes, Bacardi. Okay, so I got Bacardi too. Lots of rums work. And actually aged rum is really phenomenal because this drink normally calls for it. But with the infusion that we're going to do, you don't need to have a dark rum, which is what's fun about this. What we're doing is adding additional flavor and also color to the drink. So infusions are great because if you're using tea or coffee, infusions are pretty instant. They only take about 15 minutes, all right? as opposed to sometimes when you infuse with fruits and herbs, and that takes a little bit longer. Like an apple infusion is going to take somewhere between like 72 hours to really set in. Citrus infusions take about 24 hours. And that's why I really love using tea. I think tea is a dynamic way to add more flavor to a drink without the time restraint. Even though a lot of us maybe have some extra time on our hands, but I still think this is a great way if you want to make something quickly. So I've got loose tea here. Fine. If you have just a tea bag, know that for every 1 tea bag, you want between 4 to 8 ounces of spirit to be infused. So if you were going to infuse this whole bottle of Bacardi because you have friends coming over socially distant in the backyard, right? And you're making a pitcher of cocktail, you'd want about 4 tea bags for the entirety of the bottle. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, because I don't need it too much, I'm going to take a ½ tablespoon of tea. I'm going to place it into my glass. I'm going to show you just how quickly a spirit is going to infuse. I'm going to do a little bit more. All right. I only need 2 ounces of this, so I'm not going to pour too much of the rum into the glass. But the one thing to note is with infusions, the tea will suck up some of the spirit, and that's really important to remember. So I'm going to add some of the rum to my glass. This is a whiskey tasting glass, but I love it for infusions. It works really well. And I'm just going to let this sit. I'm going to let this sit for the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes as we make the first drink, okay? And you can already see like some of the colors already imparting. Do you see that? It's already getting a little infused. See how quickly this is gonna work? Love it. Keep your brain remembering the color of this. I'm gonna place it to the side and we're gonna get started with our first drink. Okay, so when we think about foods for Simchas Torah and Shmini Atzeret, really this one doesn't have a lot of flavors attributed to it, okay?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
If we don't have tea leaves, should we be doing that with a tea bag?
Yeah. So 1 tea bag. Oh, look at that. I need a helper, you know, Rabbi Hal, I need a helper. So I'm going to say, yes, tea bags work as well. For 1 tea bag, like a Lipton's tea bag, which is perfect. And it's a great thing to use. You want about anywhere between 4 ounces to 8 ounces of spirit. So that's going to work just right. Throw the tea bag in with the spirit, dunk it a few times. You're going to be ready to rock and roll. All right. So when it comes to flavors of this holiday, we don't actually have that much to work with. They say you're supposed to have honey because it's supposed to be like the sweetness of the words of the Torah. And honey is a very apparent theme with the holidays that we have right now. Obviously, Rosh Hashanah being the big apple and honey holiday. So honey is a theme here. The other thing we're supposed to eat, they say customary, is kreplach. And like while I'm here for the kreplach, I wasn't gonna put it into my cocktail, but like make yourself a big bowl of chicken soup, add in that kreplach, because like my grandma makes great kreplach. Grandma Edie, you make some of the best kreplach. So just know that. So, but we are gonna focus on honey as the base for this cocktail. And what I wanted to show you are a few tricks for making cocktails at home. And one of them is going to be about syrups. So I think a lot where people maybe get a little bit hung up on cocktails is they think that a lot of ingredients that you see, things like the word simple syrup or honey syrup is really difficult. And it's not. It's really simple to make. And I'm actually going to make it with you. I didn't bring out my little honey bear that's already diluted. I want to do this with you just to show you how easy this is. Okay, so I'm going to take a glass and I'm going to make a little honey syrup. And why I love this is because if you drink coffee or tea in the morning and you like to put a little honey in, this is the best way to put it in without it getting stuck at the bottom. You know, honey just like gets stuck and you're like, oh shoot. And it never really mixes up. If you make it into a syrup, it instantly liquefies a lot easier into your beverage. I keep a honey bear in my fridge that is honey syrup, and I just take out the top part of the head of the bear of the honey, add in water, shake it up. That's it. So for what we're going to do here is I'm going to make a really simple honey syrup. I'm going to make it with you. Honey already moves around a lot easier, but it's going to be a lot easier in our cocktail after I make a syrup. So I'm going to add right now 1 tablespoon of honey. And something for you to know, and we're going to go over measuring devices, is that 1 tablespoon is roughly ½ an ounce. Okay, boom. And I'll place that into my glass. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run my faucet and I'm gonna get just a little bit above room temperature of water. Not a lot, just a little, just above room temperature water. And you want it just a little warmer, but not boiling hot, because this is gonna give us the ability to mix it together really well. And from there, I'm gonna fill up this tablespoon again, but I'm gonna do half a tablespoon of water. Okay, got that. And I'm gonna place that in, okay? Now either with your tablespoon or with another spoon, all you have to do is just to stir it up, and it instantly starts to liquefy. And now what's really nice about this honey is that it moves a lot easier, and this is gonna be able to be integrated into my cocktail even better. See how easy that was? That took all 30 seconds, right? I see some people making it. This is fun. It's easy, right? For those who are making it, real simple, yeah. We'll do testimonials after, okay? That'll be great. All right, I'm gonna put this aside. I don't need those spoons anymore. But yeah, but now what I have here in my cup is a honey syrup. And this is great because this is going to be able to be used in my cocktail way easier. So when we make cocktails, we need a few things. And some of those are gonna be our bar tools. I have a shaker set. And you're like, Pam, I don't have bar tools in my house. And I say, that's fine. You don't need bar tools. What you do need are vessels that you can shake with. So if you don't have shakers like that, it's okay. If you have a mason jar with a lid, that is the best kind of shaker you could have. Mason jars with lids are great because sometimes you can shake the whole cocktail in here, open it up, and just drink directly from it. So if you want like a no mess, no fuss cocktail, this is gonna be your best friend. But if you don't have that, but you have like a water bottle hanging out like that you would use to put water in, you can shake up a cocktail in this. Anything that will cap with a lid can be used as a shaker. I know like I've gone on camping trips and made margaritas in the middle of the woods in an Nalgene. So anything's completely possible, all right? So I offer you that. If you wanna grab that, you can grab a mason jar, you can grab a shaker set if you have it. It's gonna be the best way to do it. Yes, Rabbi Hal, that looks great. Those mason jars you've got lots of size mason jars too. Nice, I love that. All right, the next thing for making cocktails, we've got our shaker set. I have a strainer here that I'm gonna use. It's called a Hawthorne strainer. Now, if you don't have that, don't freak out, it is okay. Few things you can do. If you have a tea strainer or a strainer that you would use for like your chicken soup or your pasta, you can use that as well to strain out your drink in its entirety. You can also just get fancy and like hold your lid back a little bit after you open it. That'll also work. The last thing that you need to make a really great cocktail is gonna be a measuring device. Making a cocktail is a lot more like baking than it is like cooking, okay? We're not here like Emerald just going bam every 2 seconds with an ingredient. That's not how it works. You need precision in order for your drink to come out tasting great, okay? And that means being really specific with our measurements. So this is a device called a jigger. A jigger is a measuring device that we use that has ounces for cocktails, okay? If you're in the UK or anywhere else in the world, it's milliliters, but you know how we are in America. we like everything to be different. So we use this. Something you may have also at home, and I love these, are the little like OXO cups. Some people have this at home in their measuring and their drawers, and it's nice because it has the lines that have the ounces in there. But here's the best hack. If you don't have one of these, grab that tablespoon again. Every tablespoon is a ½ ounce. So when I call out that you need 2 ounces for a drink, you need 4 tablespoons. And that works really well with making cocktails, okay? So we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. You have everything at home to make this. I know, big sigh of relief, right? We don't have to go out and spend any money. We don't have to use the Amazon or anything else. We can just make everything at home with what we have. Okay, so we are gonna get our tablespoons ready, measuring devices ready, perfect. I see everyone's got everything ready to go. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with that honey water. When we build cocktails, we like to do it from the least expensive ingredient to the most expensive ingredient. Why? Well, if you put the whiskey in first and you kind of mess up the other ingredients along the way, you don't wanna throw it out. And I don't know about you, but like, I don't wanna spend more money on more booze, okay? I like to be savvy. So we start with the least expensive ingredient because if I screw up in the beginning, then you just throw it out and it's pennies on the dollar. You know, it's very, very simple, okay? So we're always gonna go least expensive ingredient to the most expensive ingredient. So I'm gonna use this honey syrup and I'm gonna do a ½ ounce. So if you're using a tablespoon, that's going to be 1 tablespoon, all right, of honey. And I'm going to place that into my shaking device, whatever one that you use. If you like your drinks a little bit sweeter, you can add more. I just like to be sensitive of people's sweetness levels, and this will make the drink nice and tart. Okay? And if you have any questions as we're going along on here, feel free to pop them to the chat, get off the mute. You know, we're all here together. Like we're pretending we're in, you know, in the shul doing this, okay? I'm just kind of visualizing that we're the atrium and we're, you know, yeah. And there's like little sprinkle cookies near me too, so we can like eat while we do it. Okay, so 1/2 ounce of our honey syrup. The next thing we're gonna do is our lemon juice. Again, because we're going least expensive ingredient to most expensive ingredient. I'm gonna take a pause here. This is very important. I need everyone to make me a big promise. So you can put one hand in the air or hand on your heart. You repeat after me. You go, I promise, okay, that I will never buy lemon juice from the store ever again. Oh, thank you. Don't we feel better? Don't we feel so much better about that?
Totally resolved.
Because lemon and lime juice and citrus juice in general, and for cocktails especially, is the best when it comes directly from the citrus itself, okay? The things that you buy in the store that says like 100% real lime is not. You know, it's great. Listen, if we are in major pandemic times and you can't get to a store and you need to have like a bunker somewhere with lemon juice, get it, okay? That stuff's gonna sustain you. But when we make our cocktails, we use fresh citrus, okay? It's gonna give it that brightness that we really need in order for it to open up. So, in order to juice this, and I saw somebody like get out their juicer. I saw somebody getting things ready down there. This, if you don't have one of these at home, oh, there it is, Adina. Adina's like ready to roll. A juicer is going to be one of your best friends. It costs $5 to $7 in a store. I'd get one to keep in your house. It's nice not just to make your cocktails, but like when you need to put some citrus on your salmon, or like you had an angry, upsetting day and you need to squeeze something. This is great, okay, for lots of reasons. When we are going to juice our lemons and limes, here's how we're going to cut them. We don't cut it across this way. We cut it in half this way, okay? So safely cut it in half. And then here's how we juice. There's 2 parts to the fruit. There's the fruit part. How pretty is that? And then here's, well, in the industry, we call this the butt of the fruit, the tush. We'll call it the tush of the fruit. Okay, so this is the tush of the fruit. When you put the fruit in, you want to put the fruit side down, so the tushy's up, okay? And then from there, that's how you squeeze it. If you do it the other way, you're not going to get the juice out, okay? We are going to do a whole ounce of lemon juice. I like my drinks a little bit on the tart side, so if you don't like it as tart, pull it back to 0.75 ounces. It's something to know also when you juice and you push it down is that there's always going to be a little bit more juice on the side. So I always turn it to the side and a nice stream always comes down. I see some people really working it. I see, yeah, how's that going? Good? See, Rabbi Weiss is like very diligently juicing right now. It's great. Okay, phenomenal. So we have fresh lemon juice. We're so excited about this. And I'm excited about this. We're gonna add that in. So we have our honey and our lemon. So we've got our touch of honey that we're supposed to have for, you know, touching the words of the Torah, all right? We got our lemon juice to like kind of wake us up. And then of course it's the fall time. And because we're still not over this whole apples and honey ordeal of this new year, we should probably have a little bit more. Plus it's seasonal. And you know, being in Ohio, especially Cleveland, some of the best apple orchards in the country. And I stand by it. Like I live in New York, but Cleveland definitely has like some of the best apple cider, hands down. So when you go to your local markets, I know you're getting the good stuff. So it calls for apple cider. If you don't have apple cider, you're in luck. Apple juice works really, really well with this recipe, okay? And we are gonna add 0.75 ounces, so 3/4 of an ounce of cider into our drink. If you're like a big cider fan and you want some more cider in there, throw it in, okay? Also, if you are making this drink non-alcoholic, feel free to add in about 1.5 ounces of apple cider. If you want to cut down the tea that you would be adding in place of the whiskey, okay? So how are we looking right now? We have all those ingredients in for those who are following? We have our honey. We have our lemon. We have our apple cider. Let's talk about whiskey, okay? This is a seasonal drink, and whiskey is a year-round spirit. But I think whiskey plays so nicely in with the flavors that we have going on here. And whiskey comes in lots of different varieties. You have your bourbons. Your bourbons are going to be more corn-based, so they're a little bit sweeter. You have your ryes that are a little spicier, okay? You have your Japanese whiskey, your Irish whiskeys that are big, like big oily fruit bombs. And you have your scotches. So whiskey can be anything. I left this open-ended because you really get to play with what it is that you like in a cocktail. I'll offer up a few cool options for all of you to see. Oh, and somebody, really fast, said Lynn, really quickly. Yes, apple cinnamon tea would be delicious in this, okay? Absolutely, absolutely delicious. A few really cool bourbons that we like. I'm sure we've all seen it before. I do love Maker's Mark in cocktails. I think this is a very approachable bourbon when it comes to drinking. And it plays really nicely because it's a little bit more bready because of the level of wheat that's in the mash bill too. I really love the bottle and the product because this bottle was designed by Marge Samuels, who is the wife of the creator of Maker's Mark, because she saw all the bottles on the shelf and she said, oh honey, ours needs to stand out. So she like redesigned the whole thing. She added the wax seal on top. So I feel very empowered when I touch this bottle, knowing that it's a woman who made it so iconic. Because you always need a woman to do something like that. You know that, right? We all know that. So this is a really great option. As I said, rye is a really fun option too. This is a bottle of Rittenhouse rye coming from Heaven Hill Distillery. And I think rye is really nice because of the spice. It really brings out some like that spiciness that can come from the apple cider. And something really cool from Heaven Hill Distillery and why I wanted to feature it today is Heaven Hill Distillery is still a privately owned distillery by the Shapiras. And it is a Jewishly owned distillery. And I think that sometimes there are conversations that we don't have. And I do a lot of research to know where my spirits come from. And I'm very proud of the fact that Heaven Hill is still owned by the Shapira family. They are very proud of their Jewish heritage. You know, everybody who works there, who's a part of it, knows that about them, that they're very kind, wonderful people who give back, really very philanthropic. Their national ambassador is my friend Lynn House, who is a Black woman who has been recognized as like one of the top experts in our industry when it comes to spirits research. And I also love her because she very much pushes this point forward when she does presentations, and she's very, very proud of it. So knowing that we have like all these advocates speaking for us, you know, you want to make sure that you're touching really good products. We got into a different screen. Okay, that was my mom's screen for some reason. All right, so I'm using, this is hard to get. I had to go to Kentucky to get this one specifically, but a really great bourbon that they make, it would be Evan Williams. I'm sure you've all seen Evan Williams, and don't be afraid of the black label. It's actually great for mixing with cocktails. Really phenomenal for mixing. Elijah Craig is another really great one that they make as well that you can find pretty readily available. So yeah, it's okay, Mom. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 2 ounces of this to our drink. If you are making a non-alcoholic version with tea, as I said, you put 1.5 ounces of cider in, and then you would put about 1.5 ounces of tea in. It can be cold or it can be hot. We are gonna chill it down with ice. Here we're gonna do 2 ounces of our whiskey. All right, we're gonna measure it out and we're gonna pour it in. Love it. And listen, if you had a really hard day, you can add an extra 1/2 ounce, but I'm just doing what's the good, legal, responsible limits, but I'm not telling you how to pour, okay?
What's the measure again, Pam?
2 ounces. So if you have tablespoons, it would be 4 tablespoons, okay? And there's been a few questions for the infusions. All the rum is just at room temperature, so you don't have to worry about anything. It just goes in at room temperature, and that works. And the Rittenhouse rye is 100 proof, which means it's 50% alcohol by volume. So it is hotter, we'd say, or higher proof than a lot of other whiskeys that you might see on there. This one's also 50%, which is higher, and Maker's is at 45. Okay, so this is our moment to taste the cocktail. So I always like to taste my drink before I shake it. Reason being is that if there's anything I want to change, here's the time. Something we've been doing in the liquor industry is called contactless tasting. We've been doing this contactless thing for a while, okay? And I'm excited that everyone's kind of getting there. But I take a spoon, any kind of spoon, and I take a drip of the drink and I pour it 1 or 2 drops on my hand without touching my hand, okay? I'm going to take a sip. This is a perfect ratio for me. If you want to change anything, the acidity level, the whiskey, the honey, now is your time to do it. But what's nice is because I haven't touched this spoon to my mouth or to my hand, I can put it back in and stir this up again. Contactless. Genius, right? Genius. Okay. Now's the moment of truth, the shaking time, okay? And what's important to remember about shaking is that you want to make the drink cold. Sorry, as I get my ice out. You want to make the drink cold, but you don't want to over dilute it, okay? And this drink is going to go on ice in a rocks glass. So I'm actually going to get this rocks glass ready with ice. So if you have a glass with ice, then now's your time to sort of get that iced up. So I've got this lowball glass with some ice, and I like to ice my glass while I'm shaking, okay? I'm going to add in my ice into my shaker as well. Not too much. I have small ice cubes. You know, it comes from the corner store. There we go. So not too much, and I can show you guys right in here. Not too much ice, okay? Let's talk about shaking dynamics, okay? I'm gonna seal this up. Okay, so look, I know that this looks really cute for your Instagram photos, going like this, but like that's not a shake, and nothing will come of shaking that way. Your drink hasn't been agitated, you haven't moved anything around, you haven't chilled it, which is the reason why we shake it in the first place. We need to shake something like this because the citrus needs to wake up. The honey syrup needs to incorporate with all the other spirits. And we really want like that really beautiful like aeration that you get from shaking, you know, those little bubbles that are gonna explode on our palate when we have the drink. That's gonna happen from shaking. So for those of you who have like cobbler shakers, like I see Adina, you have one over there, make sure that you have your hands around the seal, no matter what, and also on the top, that little top. Yeah, seal it up. When you shake, you're gonna want to have the ice move from the bottom to the top, back to the bottom again, and if you can, also in a little bit of a circular motion, okay? And if we're doing this right, we really want to shake for just about 7 to 10 seconds, okay? Are we ready? I know it's not as cool as blowing the shofar, but it's still really cool, okay? Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So shake. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, and I like to shake so, you know, you can put a little smiley face into the tin. That's how I know I've done it right. It's really fun. Okay, so now we're gonna open up our lid. And what's nice is that if you've been shaking it right, you'll see a little bit of froth that is formed on top. You see that? That's from all the power from shaking, okay? That's all the air bubbles coming to the top. All right, now we strain the cocktail into our glass. It's that beautiful, fun fall color. I love this. I love this so much. And you can do anything when it comes to the garnish. I'm gonna add an apple slice. You can also, like I like to take a little bit of cinnamon sometimes when I add that too, and put a little bit of cinnamon just on the top for some aroma. Yeah, that's so fun, okay? And don't worry, the tea rum is coming up. That's coming into the next drink, okay? All right, so I did that, and then I'm also gonna take an apple that I have here. I'm gonna cut a slice open. I like to do this in real time. I didn't wanna cut it ahead of time because then the apple gets brown. And I think this is the adult way of doing apples and honey. So, you know, this drink also can, can be for all of the different holidays that we have this month. But I think this is a way more fun way of dipping your apples in honey, right? In the whiskey, yeah. So we're gonna cut a little sliver right here. And I just hang the apple on the side of the glass. And you're ready to sip, right? 12:30 is a good time on a Sunday to have a drink, right? Yes. All right, so we say l'chaim, right? L'chaim.
And the Browns win.
And the Browns win. We can keep wishing for a lot of things this year, 2020. We keep hopeful. I think that's why it's fun to be a Clevelander no matter what. It's like, because when it happens, we really care. We really care. So yeah, so that's a fun drink. Now, I will tell you, you can make this hot, okay? And the way to do this is you would combine all these same ingredients onto the stovetop. I would up the apple cider in this recipe to 1.5 ounces. You multiply everything and you just keep it warm on the stovetop. Very low though, because since there's alcohol in it, you can't keep it at a high flame level. But you can make this drink warm on a stovetop, which is really fun. Cool? I wouldn't microwave it. Just telling you all that right now. It'll like explode, okay? But cheers to everybody. And that was fun. We still have one more drink to make. How is it, rabbis? Consensus good? Love it. The Douglas family, you all made it, right? You know whiskey over there. You know whiskey. You know whiskey. Okay, so let's go check back on that infusion. I feel like it's one of those TV shows where it's like you pop it in the, you're like, oh, and then it takes 5 hours to chill, and then you bring it back out. You're like, oh, look, it's done. Yeah, Rabbi Hal, let's see, that's your whiskey or your rum. See how dark it is? See that infusion? Yes, same with, okay, see, everyone's got it, Rabbi Weiss, yes. So that's the cool thing about tea infusions. Tea infusions take 15 to 20 minutes, and now we're ready to make our next drink. And I like this next drink. The next drink is a dark and stormy. I'm sure we've all had them before, but I'm going to break down dark and stormy a little bit more. Yes, Hetty, that's a great question. This is just regular. This is Irish breakfast tea. You can use like a black currant black tea. You can actually get flavors in there. It's cool. You can mix teas. Like I could have put some hibiscus and black tea in here. Would have been delicious. Like a passion fruit papaya black tea, also good. So get creative. Look at your tea shelves, like, or look at that, you know, that tea box. My grandma Edie has one of these, like the tea box you bring out at the end of the meal. You can do a raspberry zinger tea if you want to in there. So again, just so everybody knows, for those who are joining in or just want to be reminded, when you do tea infusions, normally it's 1 tea bag for every 4 to 8 ounces of rum. That's going to be the ratio. This is loose tea, so because I only needed about 2 to 3 ounces, I did about 1/2 tablespoon of loose tea in here, but just 1 tea bag. I think, rabbis, you guys use tea bags, right? And it came out really well? Awesome, awesome, I love that. Okay, so dark and stormies. This might be like one of my favorite simple highball drinks, okay? And it's really simple. It's just rum and ginger beer. The end. However, when I thought about cocktails, I was like, oh, what is Breshit about? Why do we go back to Genesis? Because we talk about the origins of the world. And we talk about in the beginning, there was dark and light. There was a separation of sky and earth. And I think a lot about like the dark and stormy cocktail is so cool because of the layering effect. And I'm going to teach you all how to layer this drink. So it kind of looks like, you know, the earth, you know, and the Shemayim and the sky. So that's kind of like why I think about this drink. Also because I get to teach you a bit about infusions. I also like this drink because we're going to build it directly in our glass. No fuss. So easy. And again, if you have people who are underage or are not drinking, you can feel free to use tea in here as well. Kind of makes like an Arnold Palmer-ish type of situation, which is cool. So feel free that you can use that as well. Okay, so highball glass. A big component of making a really, really good dark and stormy is going to ensure that we have some acidity to balance things out. When we make drinks, what's important to remember is that if something's off in your drink, if something's too sweet, don't add more booze. That's not going to even it out. You need most of the time sour, okay? And if something's too sour, don't add more booze. You need something a little bit more sweet to offset one another. So here, because of the ginger beer, because of the spiciness level and a bit of the sweetness, we need just a little bit of lime juice to even it out, okay? So we're gonna get those, juicers out again, and we're gonna do about 1/2 of a lime of juice. Now this lime, I will tell you, is really small, so I might use the whole thing, but if you have a pretty like good sizable lime like this one, you just need 1/2 of that lime, okay? And if you don't have a juicer, that's okay, use your hands. This one it's a little easier, okay? You can just use your hands. I do like my dark strawberries a little bit more tart. So I'm gonna add all of that lime juice into there, okay? Next thing we're going to do is add our ginger beer, okay? Ginger beer is non-alcoholic, most of them. There is 1 or 2 in the market that have alcohol, like Krabbies, but for the most part, like Goslings, your Q sodas, your Fever Trees, and not for nothing, your Vernors. Vernors is all over Cleveland. That makes the greatest dark and stormy of all time, okay? It's so spicy and lovely, okay? But you're going to use this. What I will say is also normally we do not build drinks over ice. As you can tell from the last cocktail we made, we don't add ice until the very end because we don't want any pre-dilution happening to your drink. So we're gonna keep that same idea here. However, we are going to pour in the ginger beer and mix it with the lime juice very carefully. We don't have to stir it, it'll mix normally, and then we will add our ice after, okay? When we aim this in a highball glass and we're gonna add something, we want it to go about halfway, okay? We wanna fill our glass about halfway with the ginger beer. So you can start to pour slowly. About halfway, perfect, okay? And what's nice, because we put the lime juice in first, as opposed to putting the lime juice in after, it automatically hits the lime juice and now it's perfectly incorporated. You don't have to stir it or anything. It's ready to go. You don't want to disrupt all those bubbles, right? No, we worked so hard to have those. All right, we need to get that infusion out and ready to go. So I'm going to grab a glass. Oh, yes. And I'm going to grab a strainer. So if you're great, if you were like some people and you had a regular tea bag, you just pull out the tea bag and you're ready to go. Me, I just need to do a little straining action. Boom, got it, done. That looks great, okay? And now I'm going to add ice into this glass, okay? Because in order to layer what we're gonna do, we need to first have the ice in here, and then we're gonna layer on top of everything. So in your highball glass, start slowly adding ice. There we go. You have to crack it open. There we go. Don't mind there we go. Fabulous, okay. And when you do that, you should be left with about, your glass should be about 3/4 of the way full. I'm gonna bring you in closer so you all can see this. Don't worry, my handy assistant helped to do that. I didn't do it myself. All right, so you can see here that we have about 3/4 of the glass full, and we have about 1/4 left. So to layer something's really simple. Because this is high proof alcohol and there's no sugar or anything else within it, it will always layer on top of anything else that's more viscous. Alcohol does that. It's great. It's science. All right. So we are going to add in 2 ounces of our rum. So this is why we still have to measure it out no matter what. And when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to slowly pour the rum in the side of the glass, and you're going to see it start to layer on top of your ginger beer perfectly. And when it does that, you should see this really brilliant layering effect of the rum on top and the ginger beer on bottom, okay? So I'm gonna give this a second while everybody takes out their rum and does that. And this is where you can get a little bit more fancy with your teas. So again, as I said, if you wanted to do like a hibiscus black tea, you're gonna get a more purple color here, which is really fun. And teas do change in their color, and that's why tea infusions are fun, because if you did like a matcha or something, it would be green on top, okay? So you can get really, really creative with your teas that you put in. Plus it adds a little bit of flavor, which is also really nice. So how's it going, Rabbi? Yeah, I see it. Oh, that looks really good. So you can see it's like perfect here. It is layered on top, and you have the ginger beer on bottom. And now if you want to make a little garnish, you can do like a lime wedge or a lime wheel. If you have fresh ginger, you can put a little ginger piece in there. Before you drink it though, okay, you do need to, come here. You do need to swizzle it up. You need to mix it up, because since everything's layered together, it's not mixed together. So before you drink it, and it's kind of like how like God made this world. He did everything very easy the first few days, and then he was like, then he jumbled it all together. He's like, all right, here you go. Here's the world. And then we get the rest of the Bible because we know what happens from there on out. So we're gonna mix that together, mix it down. And then we just sip away. Nice, easy, refreshing. It's a 2-step cocktail. And I like this because the lime juice cuts a lot of that ginger beer that sometimes can be too cloyingly sweet for some people. And the tea also adds a really nice tannic nature on top of the drink. So you get a more dynamic cocktail than if you just did a regular rum with ginger beer. This has just like a little bit more. So.
Can we say the blessing together?
Yes.
All right, you can join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nihiyeh b'dvaro. L'chaim.
L'chaim. It's good and it's easy. So yeah, so just to listen, you can make loads of different cocktails, and for every holiday there are ways that you can take a drink that you really love, change a few of the ingredients to make it like really hyper seasonal, or the colors that you want it to be. But this just gives you some really great ideas of how you can take the premise of what a holiday is about and use those themes to make something really delicious and not too hard. Like these are very easy drinks. Just I broke it down the step by step so that you can make it at home.
Pam, thank you so much. We loved it.
Thank you,
And it was
Pamela.
delicious.
Great.
Pam, that was awesome. Really,
That was wonderful.
Love you.
you've added a lot to our holiday.
Hag Sameach.
Thank you.
Cider and
Thanks,
whiskey. Cider and whiskey is a great combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. It was especially interesting to learn about the Shapiro.
Yeah.
The Shapiro family is really great. I mean, you can just Google online. You can learn a lot about them. But they're very hands-on, and yeah, I mean, it's really neat to know. You know, if you go back to the origins of a lot of,
Is your mule?
you know, a lot of Jews
No, I'm not there.
involved with it. You know, just our stories are hidden a bit more, so we have to bring it to the forefront a little bit.
Is that the Heaven Hill bottled in bond 6 year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they discontinued that. They're going to a 7.
I got this. I got like about like 6 bottles of it. I picked it up about like 6 years ago in Kentucky.
Yeah, me too. I did too. Cheers.
So I figured this was a very special occasion. I had to pull it out.
That's an excellent whiskey.
I really like the idea of infusing the tea with. I figured it's really good.
Thanks. Yeah, and it's fun, and you know, and it could be any spirit. It doesn't have to be a clear spirit. And you can really start looking at like your tea shelf and seeing what is it you like. If you want to infuse with coffee, the easiest thing to do is a drip method. So as if you were going to prepare like your regular drip coffee with the filter a few scoops of coffee, and then you just take what it is that you want to infuse, whether it's your whiskey, rum, cognac, tequila, and you pour it over like a pour over method and let it just drip down. And then flavor. If you want it a little bit more coffee-esque, you do one more pour over the same grinds. And that's it. So,
nice.
really fun techniques that you can use with barely any things outside of your home. You already have it.
This is awesome. Would you do one for Hanukkah?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, Hanukkah. I like things on fire for Hanukkah. Yeah. I definitely I've made a flaming menorah or Hanukkah one year. So
Wow.
yeah, they're fun. And we do jelly drinks, like jelly drinks, and you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
You can have them with your donuts.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you use potato vodka?
You know,
Good.
I have used potato vodka for it before, so we got to keep in theme here. We have
No, you want fried drinks. You should do a fried based drinks for
fried drinks. You know, you can. It's fun because there's things that you can fry for garnishes and then place it on top. So, you know,
That's cute.
very fun. Yeah. can get very creative. I think that's the fun. I think right now we're trying to find ways when, you know, maybe you can't have your whole family together. It's just your immediate family, but you're like, how do I bring something really fun to everyone without them knowing, like, I've been working on something. And these are the fun ways, like a fun drink to start off. Just wait till Pesach, okay?
We're going to bring you in for every holiday pretty soon.
Yeah.
Right.
How about every weekend?
That's nice.
So,
and thank you for sharing such wonderful cocktails with us. It's really fun to watch you in action.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you and what you do.
Thank you all for being here on a Sunday morning, midday. I appreciate all of you. And it's so, again, as I said, it's really lovely and nice to see so many faces that I know and I love. I've grown up with, you know, that is my community, my family.
Yeah.
I see you all the time. It's, you know, and even when I was watching everybody on Rosh Hashanah, I was like, I know we're all on Zoom, but so this has been really lovely for me. I feel like as if I just came out of shul on a Saturday.
That's great.
Oh, that's nice. I love watching you on. I love watching all your videos, and so we enjoy watching you and seeing you as well.
All right.
You got a lot of fun videos.
Thank you so much, Pam.
Pam, thank you. Pam.
And let's all do good things in this new year.
Amen.
2021.
Amen.
Amen.
How are you, Pam? How are you doing? How are you doing, Pam? It's Toby. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Good. It was great seeing you before. Take care. Beautiful. Thank you.
We love you. We love you, Pam.
Love you all. Grandma, thank you for being here.
Sure.
Love you, Grandma.
That's great.
This is so nice. Thank you all.
Thanks so much, Pam. This was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much, Rabbi. Appreciate it.
And delicious. Tag sameach, everyone.
Thanks, All right. See you all.